Hi, I'm Mary Pohl, publisher of Sales Mastery Magazine, and with me today is Bob Rickert, author of Profit Heroes. We're here today to talk about how to make the shift from selling benefits to selling profit. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you, Mary. It's good to be here.
Bob, is there anyone where you would think profit-based selling is a waste of time as an approach?
Well, I'd say it's not so much a waste of time, but I would say that you want to apply the profit-centered selling approach or philosophy at the right levels. And what I mean by that is it applies to everyone in the company. At the frontline level, if you're selling to an operational level or a functional level, they're not looking at profit in terms of, them managing the P&L, but they are responsible for their budgets and for lowering costs or for becoming more efficient. So in the context of profit, they all contribute to it. They all understand it's important, but how you talk about it differs at the different levels. So I would say that, profit-centered selling is applicable to all levels. But you have to change the conversation. And at the frontline level, sometimes it's really trying to understand what are the initiatives, what are the things that are most concerning or that you're responsible for, and use that as a good discovery technique for getting information that might help you point you to other issues that are profit-driven. But I would say that it applies to anybody that has a P&L responsibility. That could be a division head, that could be actually a plant manager. I even experienced this with salespeople that sell to Home Depot. If you don't call on corporate, you would think we don't need to know profit. But at the store level, the store manager of a Home Depot, for example, is very much concerned about profitability. So if you're selling a tool or some other product to retail, and you have a great product with lots of margin, that discussion with the store manager might be, give us good placement on the end cap for us to expose and promote our product, because you'll get a better return. You'll turn more inventory. And that's all you need to really say, and you'll be talking their language. So it applies to all levels, but how you apply it has to change.
Got you. So flip side of that, if you had to name the top few industries that if their sales professionals are not using profit-centered selling, they are not relevant anymore, who would you say it's an absolute must for?
Boy, it's hard for me to eliminate anyone because I don't know that, that companies are any less exposed to it. I would say, though, that I believe those companies that have been sensitive to the growth. We're in a very slow growth economy, Mary, and as a result of that, we've gone through this recession and so forth. What happens in most organizations, if you're a company that's not growing and you're victim to the economy, then what happens in a company is that if they can't get to the growth levels, then they have to really hone in on cost management. There's more pressure on every level of the company. Pricing becomes an issue and so forth. So if you're looking at it from an industry standpoint, I feel like the industries that might not be experiencing a great deal of growth right now, you will find under cost pressure, and they'll put that pressure on their suppliers. The flip side of that is the companies that are on the leading edge of, if you look at some of the healthcare providers, companies that sell to healthcare, there's kind of a bad news story there, but it's a pretty dynamic industry. And there's certain industries, energy, that are growing very well. So you'll find that growth strategies and helping them invest in that is an upside. If you're dealing with companies that are still struggling with growth, then be prepared for a cost discussion.
Okay. Bob, do you have any parting words of wisdom for someone who really wants to start taking more of a value selling or profit-centered selling approach? How would you recommend they get started in shifting their sales approach?
I think it really comes down to really understanding and really looking as hard as you can at all the ways that you impact how a customer operates more effectively or more efficiently. In other words, I find that there's so much embedded value that companies bring that they don't know they bring. And the closer that you can get to figuring out what that is and then beginning to learn how to quantify it, even in simple terms, is the path to getting to a greater value selling, I think, return, because it's really true. At the end of the day, customers aren't buying your product. They're buying, or service, they're buying the impact of what buying your product or service will do for them. And the reason they're doing that is they're trying to improve their business and get a return and grow profitability. So with that mindset, always look for ways that you can show the customer that it's not your product and the price of it. It's the ways that you, your company, your know-how, and the outcome of what you deliver, what kind of impact that's having on their business.
I'm sure you'll agree, selling value is a top skill for success today. You can take a deep dive into the best advice our experts have contributed in the Selling Value issue of Sales Mastery magazine. You can download it from the iTunes newsstand or from the Google Play Store, and you can get the checklist to get better at selling value right now. Thanks for listening.